Welcome, fellow explorers of the unknown. Today we journey to a place shrouded in mystery, a counterpart to the infamous Bermuda Triangle, located on the opposite side of the globe. This is the story of the Dragon's Triangle, or as it's more ominously known, the Devil's Sea, nestled in the Pacific Ocean, stretching from the coast of Japan to the Bonin Islands. This area has a long and chilling history. For centuries, Japanese fishermen have spoken of it in hushed tones, telling tales of ghost ships, lost time, and sea dragons that rise from the depths to pull vessels under. They called it Mono Yumi, the Sea of the Devil. While some might dismiss these as old sailors' tales, the events that unfolded in the 20th century suggest there might be more to these legends than meets the eye. The mystery of the Devil's Sea surged into global consciousness in the mid-20th century. Between 1949 and the mid-1950s, a startling number of ships vanished within its boundaries. We're not just talking about small fishing boats. These were large, sturdy vessels, including at least 9 modern cargo ships and research vessels, that disappeared without a trace. No distress calls, no wreckage, no survivors. It was as if the ocean had simply swallowed them whole. One of the most famous incidents involved the Kaio Maruno 5, a research vessel sent by the Japanese government in 1952. Its mission to investigate the very disappearances that plagued the region. The irony is tragic. The Kaio Maruno 5, crewed by 31 scientists and sailors, also vanished. It sent no SOS, and aside from some scattered debris found later, the ship and its crew were never seen again. The Japanese government, shaken by this loss, declared the area an official danger zone, a warning that still echoes today. So what could be happening in this enigmatic patch of ocean? The theories are as vast and deep as the sea itself. One of the most popular ideas points to extreme and unpredictable weather. The Devil's Sea is a region where warm and cold ocean currents collide, creating a volatile environment. This can spawn rogue waves of immense size, powerful enough to capsize even the largest ships in an instant. It's also an area of intense seismic activity, with frequent underwater volcanic eruptions and earthquakes that could trigger tsunamis with little to no warning. Another scientific explanation delves into the geology of the seafloor. Some researchers suggest that the area is rich in methane hydrates. These are ice-like deposits of methane gas trapped on the ocean floor. If a sudden change in temperature or pressure were to occur, these hydrates could rapidly destabilize, releasing massive bubbles of methane gas. This eruption would drastically reduce the density of the water above. A ship sailing over such a spot would lose buoyancy almost instantly and sink like a stone, leaving no time for a distress call. This theory could explain the lack of wreckage, as the ship would sink directly to the bottom. Of course, where there is mystery, there are also more speculative theories. Some connect the Devil's Sea to unusual magnetic anomalies. Compasses are said to spin wildly, and electronic equipment fails without explanation. This has led to suggestions of a powerful, localized magnetic field that disrupts navigation and communication systems, leaving ships lost and vulnerable. Could this be a natural phenomenon, or something else entirely? This brings us to the more fringe but fascinating explanations. Proponents of ancient astronaut theories point to the Devil's Sea as a potential location for an underwater alien base. They suggest that the disappearances are not accidents, but abductions. The strange lights seen in the sky and underwater, often referred to as unidentified submerged objects or OSAs, are cited as evidence. Is it possible that extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings are using this area as a portal or a base of operations? Another theory ties the Dragon's Triangle to the idea of vile vortices. This concept was popularized by researcher Ivan T. Sanderson, who identified 12 specific areas around the globe, including both the Bermuda and Dragon's Triangles, where strange phenomena are concentrated. He proposed that these vortices are intersections of powerful telluric currents, or Earth's energy lines, creating gateways to other dimensions or causing warps in space-time. According to this idea, ships aren't sinking. They're slipping through a crack in reality itself. Adding to the intrigue are the cultural legends. As mentioned, Japanese folklore is rich with stories of sea dragons, or Ru. These powerful beings were said to control the tides and weather, living in palaces deep beneath the waves. Could the ancient myths be a way of explaining real, observable phenomena that science is only now beginning to understand? Perhaps the dragons were a metaphor for the immense, untamable power of the ocean in this specific region. It's also important to address the skeptics. Some researchers, like author Larry Kush, have investigated these cases and concluded that the mystery is largely manufactured. Kush argues that many of the reported disappearances either never happened, occurred far outside the boundaries of the Devil's Sea, or had perfectly logical explanations that were simply ignored by sensationalist writers. He points out that this is a heavy traffic area with notoriously bad weather. Statistically, it's inevitable that some ships will be lost. He suggests that the legend of the Devil's Sea is a classic example of how myths are born from a combination of real tragedy, incomplete information, and the human desire for a good story. For example, the sinking of the Kaio Maruno 5 is often presented as a deep mystery. However, records show that the ship was investigating an active underwater volcano, Myogen show, which erupted at the exact time the vessel was in the vicinity. Debris recovered was consistent with being destroyed by a volcanic eruption. This doesn't make the event any less tragic, but it does offer a rational, terrestrial explanation. So, where does that leave us? Is the Devil's Sea a paranormal portal, a scientific anomaly, or simply a dangerous stretch of water with a sinister reputation? The truth is likely a combination of factors. The area is undeniably hazardous due to its unique oceanographic and geological conditions. The powerful currents, seismic activity, and potential for methane gas blowouts create a perfect storm of natural dangers. These real-world hazards, combined with centuries of folklore and the very human tendency to seek patterns in tragedy, have woven a powerful narrative. The image of a dragoness lair or a deviless playground is far more compelling than a complex report on ocean currents and methane hydrates. Yet, some questions remain unanswered. The reports of electromagnetic interference, the sheer number of vessels lost in a relatively short period, and the persistent eyewitness accounts of strange lights and phenomena are not so easily dismissed. They keep the door open, just a crack, to the possibility that there are forces at play in the Dragoness Triangle that we do not yet comprehend. Whether you believe in sea dragons, dimensional rifts, or simply the raw, unforgiving power of nature, the Devil's Sea remains one of our planet's great unsolved mysteries. It's a place that commands respect and reminds us that for all our technology and knowledge, there are still parts of our world that are wild, unknown, and truly untamable. The ocean keeps its secrets well, and the Dragon's Triangle is one of its most profound. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the unknown. If you enjoyed this journey, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more explorations into the world's greatest mysteries. Until next time, stay curious.